everybody, it's Flamingo Writer here, and it's time for another take on. At least the last one until November, but you get what I mean. Okay, let's get this out of the way first. Before you say anything, yes, I am taking a break for the rest of September, mostly because of a family member that I've lost last year, and most importantly, because I want to spend time with my mom and all that stuff. Yeah, I do still live with my family, but even with that said, we're going to be doing things together for the next 10 times or so while she's on vacation from work. And honestly, with that said, however, I'm going to do everything I can to get back in October. But if you haven't seen the community post, aside from that from with my pops and everything though, I made it no secret that I'm going to have a lot of plans for October. Those being my ratings of the Rainbow Academy Writings podcast, the Magical Girl podcast, and as well as a Halloween episode, if you can call it that. Seriously, it's a show that I don't want to talk about, but honestly, it's been way overdue as much as I hate to admit it, but still. And finally, I'm probably gonna have my favorite one of all, my birthday video, which will be the first one that I will ever do on my channel. But even with that said, however, I do hope to get back at the take-ons in November, maybe before Thanksgiving and even for that, but still. But anyways, regardless of that, let's talk about the take-on we're talking about to look at today. Cartoon reviewers. When it comes to cartoon reviewers, I myself have to say this right here and now. This was a community that I've been a fan of since I was 12 years old, I believe. Like, the first cartoon reviewer that I ever saw, I thought was the Hero of Tomorrow, but looking back a little further away from my years, I think it has to be Animat. Say what you want about the guy, while he has his own controversial opinions, quote unquote, but I don't think he's really that much of a bad guy, though. I mean, sure, his takes are a bit opinionated from time to time, but honestly, that's the same about a lot of these cartoon reviewers. But that's the key thing here. Cartoon reviewers usually delve into stuff that normally a lot of reviewers would not be able to talk about. As for myself, well, I don't think I've ever said this before now, but before I started doing these take-ons, I actually wanted to talk about cartoons at first. Yeah, I talk about magical girl shows, and on occasion I do talk about other shows like, say, the adult party cartoon and like, but honestly though, those are only stuff that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, the cartoon reviewing community in of itself has a lot of fair share of people. And honestly, looking back on it, well, some of them I do watch every now and then, and some of them on occasion, but when it comes right down to it, I think I've grown a little sour since I've seen cartoon reviewers. I still watch some of them, like the Hero of Tomorrow, as I mentioned. I'll go back to that guy, even if it means costing my life, because honestly, he's what got me into doing videos to begin with. If you've seen my Q&A video from the live stream, and maybe I'll do my birthday video on a live stream too, we'll have to see. But honestly, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, well, cartoon reviewers a lot of people bring up are usually someone like, say, Mr. Enter. I'm going to be a little lenient and say that while I'm still not a huge fan of the guy anymore, I still watch his videos on occasion. Keyword being occasion, because looking at some of his old videos, well, some of them have not aged well for me, respectively. I'll give him a bit of slack for that, considering that the cartoon reviewer community probably came way before he did, but that's beside the point. But you know how some cartoon reviewers out there don't get the recognition that they don't deserve by doing that, by saying that their opinion is the only one that matters, and therefore it must be a fact. Everyone and their grandmother should know this already. This is something that I've seen way too many times as it is. Whenever someone gives an opinion out, that automatically means that, yeah, we're supposed to respect, but the person who gives that opinion always makes it into a legitimate fact. Now, this is what I mean when I say that I hate it when people do this. I get that not just cartoon reviewers, but anyone out there in general is going to be more, shall we say, opinionated. But honestly, though, it really depends on the opinion itself. If I can understand where you're coming from, I can understand you. But sometimes, and I hate to say this, their opinion really doesn't count, though, as long as it actually does so already. But when it comes to cartoon reviewers, well, if you've been through my channel for a while, though, you already know I talk about Star Giant Productions and Zoe Magenta. And speaking of Zoe Magenta, that video got more views than I expected and to have than I thought it would have. And honestly, today we're gonna look at one of the other lolcows here, if you can call her that, Lily Orchard. Now, this is one of the reasons what I mean when I say that this was actually way before I did Madeline Hatter. I was originally gonna do my take-ons with Lily Orchard at first glance a few years ago, but, well, if you haven't noticed though, I haven't done videos for over years now. I did try to do that on my channel, but considering that I didn't have the goal and what's more, I had a full-time job, it wouldn't be that easy to do so. And let's get this out of the way. Unless you're someone like me who actually doesn't mind having people doing those videos, then you're probably better off for it though. But sometimes when it comes to Lily Orchard, yeah, this was admittedly the one person I wanted to do the take on for the first time I've ever started these take-ons. Now, I haven't really done her before now, but let me tell you, if anything though, her and Star Giant Productions are so much in common. I'm surprised they're not even twins. But they're not exactly the same, but I will admit though, a lot of their personalities and the way they treat their audience are not anything I would recommend. But with all that said, however, let's talk about Lily Orchard. So for those of you who don't know who Lily Orchard is, she's basically a Canadian reviewer who went by Ballspawn, and she also went by Jerry Pete before transitioning to Lily and Pete and then to Lily Orchard. I'm not going to say all of her channel names, because if we did that, we'd be here all day. Let's be real here. Her username changes every so often that I can't even keep my eyes straight forward without blinking too many times. Because honestly, that's what it feels like in a lot of ways though. And in some aspects, I get that she and some other review people are gonna change her now and all that stuff, but honestly, there's just too much for her to go over. And when it comes right down to it though, my time I talk about Lily Orchard is really something I would have done something like that though. So let's talk about this for a sec. Like with Star Giant Productions, Lily used to be an editor for not really Mr. Enter, but in this case, Josh Scorcher, a user who usually talks about video games and some other stuff though. I used to watch his content back then during the quarantine of the pandemic, but not anymore. He's not a bad person though. From what I can tell, he's a pretty fine gentleman for all I can tell. But the reason why I don't watch him anymore necessarily is because I just don't have the time to watch a lot of his videos anymore, and what's more, I just don't really think I'm Gravatic for sure though. I can't really muster up how much this person really gets me though. See, when Lily started editing for Josh Scorcher, I will admit, her editing is, compared to Rebecca's, it's passable. Not anything too great, not anything I call bad or anything, just passable at the very least. And that's the most I can say for a compliment I can give it though. But before we get into the negatives, there are some positives I will say about Lily. There are positives, you say? Say it ain't so. Yeah, honestly though, this is one case where I have to say things on record though. Before I started not liking Lily, there were some things I will give her points at. For one thing, her analysis videos. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of a sucker for analysis videos, because usually when people analysis other characters or shows or movies or anything like that, I usually stick around to see what they have to bring to the table. However, there's a difference between her and those other people. Where other people talk about analysis videos, they usually try their best to go as far as in depth as what they could though. I did say I watch a few cartoon reviewers every now and then, and let's talk about one of them I've actually got into character analysis videos. Gem Reviews. Now, Gem Reviews, okay, I won't lie though, he's not really a character analysis video content creator. He was more of a cartoon reviewer, but he did analyze characters like Double D from Ed and Eddie and Patrick from SpongeBob. One thing's for sure though, I think what you can definitely say about Tim is that he actually went in depth of what he thinks about the character though, and he also admitted what their flaws were. And honestly, that was another thing I wanted to do with my channel, do character analysis videos, but honestly I turned it down for myself because I highly doubt anyone is gonna stick around with just my audio and avatar like that. Seriously, my videos are not anything great, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. One thing's for sure though, I thought Lily was actually at least decent when it comes having these year analysis videos. But do you know what's the difference between her and Jem? Jem never went so far as to downplay anyone's opinion on their perspective on these characters. And what's more, he didn't really say to anybody, "Oh, there's my opinion, and you should automatically agree with them." No, I'll fully state that while he did act sour in the beginning, he actually grew over time, though. Though honestly, I can't say much about Jem because not only that's not what this video is about, but also because he hasn't really made videos since then, and it's gonna be about, Jesus Christ, almost 5 years from now. Holy shit. Yeah, honestly, though, this is one of the reasons why I think this is what happens when you get burnt out. I hear that he's still okay and all that stuff, but we're getting off topic. Anyways, back to Lily, however, she usually goes so far as to have a lot of people who, for some reason, if they don't agree with her, she'll usually do the following. Like, oh, she'll either delete comments, she'll usually kick you out, ban you, or anything like that, though. I'm not even joking. She'll just basically bash on people for something that that person doesn't like, or vice versa, and then she'll just go around with that as is, though. Now, one thing's automatically goddamn shit for sure, though. I have nothing against people who have banned people for a reason that's actually valid. But when you ban someone who has a different opinion on you, especially when it comes to shows or characters or movies or anything like that in media, yeah, I think we're gonna have a problem unless it's something that's valid. If it's invalid, then yeah, I'm not gonna stick around for too long. I will admit, I used to be a fan of Lily back then before the quarantine hit, but over time, I started realizing something else. Like how she treated Josh. Like, I don't know what it is though. I mean, say what you want about Rebecca. She was a bad editor. There's nothing that can salvage from that. But I can definitely say at least she never went so far as to say she refuses to edit though. The only difference is that Rebecca herself went so far as to self-insert herself and do other things with her editing that just made it so egregious for me to watch. And trust me when I say this though, that was how I got into seeing videos around Lily Orchard. If you've been on my channel for quite some time though, you may or may not know this, but I actually created a playlist with Lily's involvement. Not something necessarily I call Lily from myself and my perspective, but from other people who talked about Lily. And with that reason alone, I recommend the playlist if you haven't seen it. I'll probably add this video onto the playlist as well, but you'll have to wait until further notice though. Anyways, back to what I was saying though. Yeah, other than that though, her video content, Lily specifically, is one that just makes me wonder, why does she get so angry all the time? Back in 2016 or 2017, depending on what year you're going on though, she was actually pretty decent. Like, not even someone that she is nowadays. When it comes right down to it though, she would go so far as to go after people to don't like her opinion or don't respect it in something for that regard. But when I was going to Josh Scorcher for this video, I'm just gonna say it right here and now. Like I said, I think the guy is pretty decent. I don't think he's anything that would cause trouble or anything like that. Though I shouldn't really talk too much because if I open my mouth any further, I'm gonna put so many jinxes in there. It's probably gonna have though. Granted, I don't have a belief of superstitions, but you get what I mean. One thing's automatic for sure for Lily though is that when there was some scripts that need to be edited for Josh though, Lily would refuse to edit because his opinion was different from hers. Have you ever seen anyone refuse to edit for somebody just because they have a different opinion on you? Like, it was his channel, and what's more, Lily, you collaborated with him years ago. I don't know what's your problem with that though. Now some would argue that maybe it needs some proofreading and stuff like that, which yeah, that's really part of what editing does. They usually proofread your script, they usually make sure you don't have the following or anything like that. But the difference being is that they should not have to go through the hell of the drama that you're putting themselves into. And with that said, however, there have been other videos around Lily that make me wonder, why does she still stick around with Josh though? Like, Josh did fire her eventually, but it wasn't until she started doing more stuff. Like, I don't know, the fact that she kept going after him and his wife at the time though. Like, they were both getting married and she posts something on I believe, what was it, Tumblr? If it's Tumblr or anything like that, I think that is though. I don't use Tumblr, but I did see the message that the hardcore kid did put in his video, and honestly, I don't know how to describe it. If I read it to you on screen, which I don't want to do that for the sake of this video because I think it's gonna sound like I'm really doing a lot of shit to this though, but I have to say this right here and now. It was horrifying for how she's though. Like, she hopes that, well, to put it bluntly, she hopes the two get divorced and hopefully she doesn't believe that Josh was part of the military, which if you know anything about being part of the army or military or anything like that though, you would know that they usually have a state on record to see if you are part of that though. If you lie about it, there will be consequences. And if you are part of it though, they're not going to do anything to you though, but you still have to command orders and respect though. Now, I can't really say too much on Josh for this here session alone for the video because honestly, it's not just that though. She would also go so far as to, I can't believe I'm saying this, go ahead and abuse and slander him as well as his wife though. Like, even to this day, I'm not exaggerating, she would go so far as to probably dox the guy, which doesn't that mean you're gonna get into serious trouble though? It's like slam. I'm just going over back and forth with Sniper Wolf, oh my god. Like, seriously though, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, you mean to tell me that the guy you used to edit for, and then you go so far as to attempt to dox him and his wife when they're happily married together? Are you fucking high? And I don't like saying this all the time though, but you get what I mean though. One thing's automatic for sure though, Lily, is that she'll do anything to get her own way at times though, to the point where it's obvious she's trying to get her own point, if you can call it that. And if you want to get your point across by saying Lily's not a bad person, well, I don't know why you're sticking with my channel for this long then. One thing's automatic for sure though, she's not really someone I would press feed on or anything like that. But let's go over something else though. Let's talk about fan bases for a sec. I already mentioned this in before, I believe, but if I haven't, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments though. But let's get this out of the way. I don't want to say too much on fan bases on my videos because honestly I feel like I'm going to be repeating the same thing I've said before then. But her fan base is just as toxic as her, if not almost as that though. The reason why I say this is because most of the time when it comes to her fan base, she'll send her fan base to attack other people she does not like. Okay, one thing's for sure though, we need to discuss this right here and now. Your fan base are obviously gonna take orders from somebody who you seem to find as a god or a goddess because for some reason they think of you as saying something like that. Even to people who I've talked to that were part of Lily's fan base do not fucking know what the fuck she's doing. They're really that freaking oblivious to what she does though. And honestly, I have to reiterate though. So back when I was still commenting on these Lily Orchard rant videos, I did talk to one of her fans though. And let me tell you, it was not pretty. I can't say I saved the screenshot because not only because it was on my old phone and had to get a new one years later, but it's well, not years later, but about say a year afterwards though. This was during the time when I was having an old LG phone, so I couldn't really screenshot anything. One thing's for sure though, when it comes to having Lily though, she would, I can't believe I'm saying this out of my mouth, she had one of her fans go ahead and talk to me into one of the comments. It's not up anymore because I'm sure the channel I really commented on no longer up though. Yeah, I think he may have deleted his channel. I can't remember what his name was, but he usually have a glass of water on his head because Lily does have this video series called Glass of Water. I guess you could say that, but I can't really be certain on what the channel name is because I can't find it anywhere. What's more, it's probably been deleted or it's been deplatformed. I don't really know. That's not what this video is about. One thing's for sure though, I can't really say too much on this for that matter because get this, Lily, his fans talk to me, and honestly, I didn't take any shit from this person. Like, she would go so far, like the fan specifically, she would go so far as to think that, oh, I only don't like Lily because I just feel like she's just too hard on herself when she's acting like an adult. Adult my fucking ass! I mean, if anything, no, this is one of the reasons why I don't like it when people get too angry. Oh, trust me, we'll get to that in a minute or two. But for right now, I think it's safe to say that your fans are gonna go so far as to get whatever it's coming across on them. And I have to be honest though, if you really think that Lily is that much of a good person, then why is she going ahead and asking people to attack other people? This is almost the same problem I have with something like, say, hey, Miss Anthropony or Zeddy Magenta though. Obviously, people are going to either blindly follow you or in this case make sock puppet accounts because they think that, oh, you just don't like this person because this or because of that. Obviously, everyone's gonna believe that, and let's be honest here, they don't do their freaking homework for that matter. And let's be honest here though, if you want to get your side across, fine, go ahead, but at least do your homework first before you jump to that conclusion though. So when it comes to these anger videos, I never said this in the Zeddy Magenta video, but I did say in the live stream with Giratina, but I'm just gonna say this right here and now. When it comes to being a reviewer that's quote-unquote angry for some funny reasons, I have this to say. There are different ways to get angry. Like, there's no exaggeration. In my opinion, there are only a few ways to get angry. The first anger, I think we can all agree with, is usually the justifiable kind of angry. Like, you know where you're coming from. Yeah, people know where you're coming from, and they really want to help you out and stuff like that. Like, I get angry too, but I try my best not to do my anger in my videos because, trust me, my anger is not something you want to meet up with. Anyone who's seen my deleted video would probably know this, but you get what I mean. What I'm trying to say here is that it's pretty obvious that the more angry you get, it's gonna feel like if you don't watch out, there's gonna be something lurking in that anger. Like, I'm not saying that you can't show your anger. It's really one of our outlets, though. What's more, anger is part of our emotions. That's really how it goes. One thing's for sure, though, when it comes to the anger I don't like, especially because, again, this is the one I feel like has happened the most, though, would have to be the dangerous kind of angry. Remember Zeddy Magenta when he was kind of throwing a hissy fit over people who had different opinions on him? And before you say anything, yes, I am fully aware he's hiding behind Just a Robot's channel, if anything to judge by. But honestly, though, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone came at me and says that they're angry all for something that's so stupid that they have to get pissed off at something that's not even them to begin with. Let's get this out of the way first. Of course you're gonna get angry over something that's pitiful or something that's gonna get you all wrathful and everything. One thing's automatic though, I don't think anyone should say this out of their asses or anything, but I'm gonna just come out and say it. When it comes to being angry, I don't like it when people get too angry, like say violently angry, not only because it gets me anxiety, yes, I go through anxiety sometimes and stress, but it also does get people all wound up to know if you're gonna be okay or not. Even when people ask you if you're gonna be okay though, it's best to calm down first before saying anything though. But with Lily, I can't understand if her anger is trying to be funny or sarcastic, or sometimes even understand where she comes from, or worse yet, she's probably just angry because of her fans are following her, and yet she's always asking for Patreon money and the liking. What the hell? I don't even know what I'm reading up on. Like, if you're angry, okay, you're angry, I get that. But that said, however, it doesn't make a lick of sense if you're gonna be angry at your fans for not managing money enough to give you something like that. Call it fucked up all you want though, this is not how you should deal with your audience for something like that. Also, of course I'm gonna be saying this though, everyone who follows you is gonna go along with what you say unless they have some valid criticism. But speaking of criticism, oh boy, this is one aspect I cannot stand in the liking though. Okay, so one thing's for sure though, everyone needs criticism. Everyone does. It's how we learn things. Now, when it comes to deleting comments that give you criticism, I can understand there could be one of two possibilities. Now, anger being aside though, I will say this though, criticism is a valid thing. It's really how we deal with things, except it depends on what kind of criticism. Like constructive criticism, something that you should know that actually helps you out though, whether it's due to your videos, due to what you're having a cross on that, and so on and so forth, in order to improve on ourselves. That's the criticism that we all need, though. But eh, destructive criticism, yeah, that's something I need to press on it right here, though. Now, it seems to me that when it comes to Lily, she would go so far as to delete comments that give her constructive criticism, or worse yet, she would block you or some shit like that. Okay, what does blocking have to do with that? Now, I'll admit I did get comments that gave me harsh feedback because, like I said in one of my videos, I got a comment that said that I'm only called Flamingo Writer because, hey, I'm Flamingo Writer, that means I fuck flamingos. I don't think that's a criticism in the slightest. What's more, it's even really gone to the point where I had to delete the comment all because they think, oh, I fuck flamingos, that's why I call myself Flamingo Writer. No, I just love flamingos. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, is there? If there is, tell me then. One thing I can't automatically say about this is that I don't think me saying this is gonna be too hard on the subject matter, but it needs to be stated. So, when it comes to Lily having these here criticisms, she'll usually go so far as to delete, or even more so, she would moderate the comments. I don't know how you moderate comments because I don't have that for myself when it comes to having something on my channel. If I have something that's not something that's like that, I suppose, I guess. But the difference being, though, is that at least when it comes to something like trolls that are just trying to hunt you down or something like that, I can at least understand that you want to go ahead and delete those comments because they're trying to hurt you. Because let's be honest, those comments were worthless to begin with. But you know how when you give constructive criticism, you have to take it in for what it's worth and just understand where you're coming from? Because honestly, you need to improve on yourself. Lily doesn't even keep the criticisms that actually criticize her. Like, for example, there was this one thing I have to say right here and now. Constructive criticism is how we improve on ourselves. It's how we build on our character. It's how we understand what to do with ourselves and other things in the liking. The only difference being is that Lily is just one of those people that just doesn't listen to criticism, and she'll just delete it as she still can, though. And honestly, this is true about a lot of her videos. You could say that in the liking, but I'm just saying, though, this is one of the reasons why I can't stand people like Lily. They'll think you're a bad person, or oh my god, they went so far as to hurt me because they did something they don't like. What the hell is this? My issues aside, though, this is not how you're supposed to deal with this sort of behavior. And honestly, I have to believe something, though, that could have been more valid if it weren't for the fact that it wasn't the time being like that, though. Like, there's no words big enough to describe how much this woman just doesn't like it when people criticize her. She'll just delete them or ban you or kick you out. Even in something like live streams where they try talking to her, though. I will admit, I did want to comment on her video again, but after getting blocked, yes, really. I don't think saying that's gonna do any good anyways. I wasn't trying to harass her or anything like that, if you think that way. No, I never harass anybody, but it goes so far as to say that she just doesn't care what you have to say. She'll just say, nah, just suck it up and give me money for Patreon or something like that. This is basically Rebecca, except I can't even touch grass if she was there in front of me, though. And speaking of her videos, well, if you had never seen Lily Orchard's videos or anything like that, you may have heard of her two long-ass videos, The Legend of Korra is Garbage and Here's Why, and Steven Universe is Garbage is Here's Why, both of which were more popular than I can say about anything I've seen on the channel like hers before, though. Now, I'm gonna be really here and try to be as nice as I can, because there were some criticisms I do agree with where she's coming from, but there were some things that made me raise eyebrows here and there, if you get what I'm saying. Because honestly, Lily will give out so long with these issues. First of all, these videos are so damn long. I can't even tell if she's trying to make points of a lot more than what could have been, though, or the fact that she's just doing this for the sake of hey, why the hell not? Like, this is what I mean when I say that she'll just do anything to get her own troubles out of the way, so she looks like we're nowhere we're seeing from. No. And when it comes right down to it, Lily's toxicity is so hard to handle that I can't even muster up what it is, though. Like, when I look at the Steven Universe's Garbage is Here Why video, it is 2 hours long, and I couldn't even get past even a half an hour of it. That's how much it really had to already, though. So I said to myself, fuck it, I might as well just watch other people to see how they suffer through it, and it was not pretty. And let me tell you right now, you wanna know the ironic thing? If it weren't for something like someone like, say, Star Giant Productions or Rebecca Starlight, I'm still not done naming you if you call someone Star Giant Productions by their freaking channel name. When it comes right down to it, though, this is what got me into Star Giant Productions channel to begin with. Yeah, stupid ass me decided to follow somebody who was actually trying to prove a point, and yet here we are. We actually get to see that her and Rebecca are so much alike, though. Not just due to editing skills, not just due to the fact that you have to go after the person that they used to edit for, but so much more so than what could have been, though. And I know that some people have videos out there from a user, that's true, but when it comes to something like that, they usually try to grow onto it. Keywords being try, because I don't see a lot of people actually discussing about what happened. One thing's automatic for sure about Lily, though I hate being that guy, is that it really goes out of my way just to see where she's coming from. Like, sometimes I'll understand if she's making a valid point, but other times not so much as what it could have been, though. In the Steven Universe Garbage is, Here's Why video is no stranger to that. I will admit, while I am still a fan of Steven Universe, I can freely say it's not a perfect show. It's not a perfect show by any means, though. There are some flaws I have with it, like, say, for example, the diamonds. And this is one point I have to agree with Lily. The diamonds being redeemed, okay, I can't speak for anybody, but I'm just gonna say this for myself. I didn't like that they were being redeemed, mostly because it felt rushed, and what's more, it felt really unnecessary. I get that the show's about peace and love and stuff like that, but Lily doesn't even say why, though. She says something about them being Nazis? What? Wait, what? I'm sorry. What the hell? Yeah, honestly, though, this is one thing that got me angered, though. Not just for the Nazis, but also for her detractors? Like, not just that, but her detractors are also Nazis? What the hell am I even listening to? Am I going deaf or am I going psycho? I think it's the latter. One thing is for sure, though, it's really going so far out of my way just to say this, though. And she says that she doesn't like it when villains get redeemed. Okay, when it comes to Legend of Korra, I'm gonna say this right here and now. I'm mixed on that show. I don't love it, I don't hate it, I'm just in the middle of it. I like to, the Last Airbender, Avatar The Last Airbender, mind you. I like that show in itself, but honestly, for me to say that, that's not really saying a lot to take a piece of cake out of that. It's cake anyways, though. No, what really sets things off about Lily is how she goes so far out of her way just to say she doesn't like it when villains get redeemed, except for Ronnie Ann from the Loud House. Okay, so I'm just gonna come out and say this, though. I have no other words to say other than say, why does she get a pass other than the fact that she's a child or she's a female or whatever? You know, I'm just gonna say this right here and now. You can say all you want, a child can be redeemed, but honestly, while I'm not a huge fan of the Loud House anymore, I have to be completely blunt and say, you really don't know what you're talking about. You say that villains shouldn't get redeemed, or bullies shouldn't get redeemed, but Ronnie Ann gets a pass. For what reason, I have no idea other than she's a fucking child. And speaking of children, though, you may have noticed that there's also the fact that Lily also has something about MLP content. Yeah, I will get more into MLP in a bit, though, but let's get this out of the way. Remember Cozy Glow? One of the child villains there? From what I can tell, a lot of people say she's the inspiration from Shirley Temple or Darla Dimple from Cats Don't Dance. And I have to say, though, while that's not really anything that I see new, I mean, hell, a baby doll from Batman that's basically inspired by Charlotte Temple and Darla Dimple. Funny, considering that most of the movies came from Warner Brothers, but still. But I don't want to say this as in that though. See, she says that she doesn't like it when they get that Cozy Glow gets punished. I guess it was. It's been a 1,000 years since I've last seen that video, so you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But one thing's for sure though about Lily is that she just doesn't seem to understand that kids can be evil though. Now I will say one thing I did not like about Cozy Glow is that we never got a backstory. Yeah, of all the things you could give to Cozy Glow, we never get a solid backstory. It doesn't have to be too deep or anything like that, but it can show what would happen and why she became evil. Like, did she get abandoned? Did she didn't get the respect that she deserves? Did she just hate how people treated her, such like that? We never get an answer from that, and honestly I feel pretty bad. Now maybe they'll say it in the MLP comics, which I haven't, and nor have I ever read them though, but I have to say we never get a straightforward answer though. Now with Lily, she doesn't like it when she got when Cozy Glow got punished. Why though? I mean, isn't that part of what karma does? It usually bites you in the ass by the end of the day if you do something bad, and that's not even in compared to what she has to say about this in itself though, like for The Last Airbender or something like that. But I'm just gonna say this right here and now. If I had to pick a favorite redemption arc, that's why I picked Avatar The Last Airbender, because while that's an obvious choice, Zuko went through a lot of character development in the show. In fact, he's my favorite character in the show, period. I think what really sets things off about Zuko is that he started off to please his father, but realizing that him and were actually one of those characters that got banished off of there and tried to get Last Airbender. Later on, they do decide to help Team Airbender to do this already, though. And honestly, his character growth has changed for the better at the time. That's what I love about Avatar. It's not afraid to show character development. I mean, yeah, I got screwed over because Nickelodeon wants to show comedic shows. With that said, like, say, for example, when they showed Korra, they had to show whatever they could, though. But, well, you already know what I'm saying, though, at this point. I'm probably speaking out of my mind, though, but the problem with Lily is that she doesn't like it when villains get redeemed, which, okay, I will say, yes, villains getting redeemed can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, you can redeem villains if you have the better writing material. I mean, go back to what I said about Zuko. He actually had pretty well character development. I don't know about you guys, but I think he had the strongest out of the character redemption arcs. But when something like, say, the Diamonds get a redemption arc, yeah, I may be a fan of Steven Universe still, but even I'll admit that still was pretty petty, and to give them a damn arc after that. Like, what did the Diamonds do to get a redeeming arc? Like, all we got was them just that, and that's about it. Like, no clear-cut goal, no responsibility for that. We'll just give it for the way it is. Okay, now, if anything, you're probably familiar with Lily. If you're not familiar with those garbage videos, you're probably familiar with something like, say, when she was part of the MLP fanbase. Or technically she still is, I don't know. Look, most I got from her is just character analysis, cartoon reviewing sometimes, MLP, garbage videos, and LGBT themes. Yep, a representation and from someone who's toxic. You can tell me why you don't want to redeem comments. Anyways, as I've said before, though, I think it's about time we talk about her MLP thing. Okay, so one thing's for sure, though, she was part of the group that did stop Toon Critic. You know, the guy who went after a 14-year-old girl, I believe it was. Yeah, I will say, though, that was pretty good for her to try in doing so already, though, because let's be honest, Toon Critic is a scum. There's no denying that. One thing's for sure, though, well, it was already, though, that doesn't is what Lily had, though, in mind. Yeah, Lily is one of those people who wrote MLP fan fiction, and I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that it made me nauseous. Like, compared to my writing, it makes it look like it came from a Shakespeare play. It's really that's hard to sit through when reading it. Before watching this her videos, and by extension by that. I mean, I've watched a lot of her video rants, especially with the Stockholm thing. This was back in 2020, so a million years ago when I started watching stuff on Lily Orchard, not just with Star Giant Productions, but with other people as well. When watching it, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I know I'm gonna sound pretty distasteful when I'm gonna say, but I'm just gonna say it. Reading Stockholm, one of the fanfics out there, made me so nauseous I had to literally throw up. Yeah, it was that disgusting. Incest and it's having younger versions of the MLP having pony thing going on or something like that. I can't put it as clean as I can though, guys. I'm trying my damnedest to. But that's how disgusting it was. Hell, I haven't even eaten breakfast and I'm still feeling nauseous. Thanks for that, fanfic. But one thing I will say about Lily, and this is the one thing I'll say about her, at least she put a rating on it. Like, she knows it's not for kids. She knows it's for 18 plus adults. But even with that said, I highly doubt anyone, unless you have some sort of bizarre fetish or something, is gonna find that pretty kind of understandable to watch, though. I can understand to an egregious of things, though, to a high level if they had something valid going with it. But that in of itself just disgusts me in every sort of way, though. It's really no surprise to me that so many people were like that. Oh, and by the way, speaking of writing, though, I said before that I do a lot of writings, which when I do my Rainbow Academy writings podcast in October, I'm going to do 3 episodes because it's going to be only following things I'm going to be doing because I haven't done a lot of it yet. But I'll have to say this, though. When it comes to my writing and her writing, I actually went up to somebody to see whose writing was better in comparison because someone asked me what kind of writing I do. Not my girlfriend. She didn't ask for my writing because I'm still trying to teach her how to become a better writer as well, though, because she says she wants me to help her out. But even with that said, however, she's mostly into fanfic writing, though. And well, like I said before, I'm not a fan of fanfic writing. I'm not a fan of it. I never was part of it. I like to do original stories for myself. And to be quite blunt, though, they're just not my type. If you've seen my fanfics on my live stream, Flamingo's writings, you probably already know what I'm already talking about. But if you don't, the video will be there in the live section if you haven't seen it already. But one thing's for sure, though, when somebody, not my girlfriend, someone else asked me what kind of writing would they go for, get this. They didn't want to see my writing about characters helping out one another. Yeah, this was before I started doing other my current writing now, but let's get this over with right now. This writing that I try to do about kids helping out one another had nothing sexual about it. Now it's still for adults because there are some dark things about it, though, like say for something else I'm not going to go into, though, because it's not anything special. But one thing's for sure, though, when doing something like that for my writing, I'll be completely blunt. This guy who wanted to see both my writing and Lily's took Lily's over mine. Yeah, they took something that they took over someone's writing who sounds like something came out of incest, decided to take hers over mine. I will admit my writing's nothing spectacular because, again, I'm no professional, but that just disgusts me. And it's even more disgusting when you realize that, yeah, you decide to take over incest writing over something that has kids helping out one another. And to be completely honest with you guys, not only did that hurt me, but it also says from the guy that I just told about, he said to me in particular that her writing is better than mine. I'm not gonna yell, I'm not gonna scream, I'm not gonna shout, but I am gonna ask, why would you take someone's writing who had incest, sex, and so much other shit in their writing that's so bad you can immediately throw up from, while meanwhile my writing, even though it's not anything spectacular, doesn't do anything like that. Seriously, the kids helping out in my story is more like helping those who need a helping hand. That's really the best way to describe my writing. But with that said, I think you already know what that's like in a lot of ways. Before we close this video off, there's one more thing I need to mention here. Okay, so you probably are familiar with the fan art that Lily usually gets. And while I admit that fan art is something that usually a channel usually has, they usually do it with good intentions. Usually when it comes to having fan art, they usually go so far as to say, hey, thank you for the artwork though. Now, I get fan art, I had a lot of fan art during my time though. Not just from the avatar I have now, which will be, goddamn, almost a year already, which, yeah, it will be around, like, I think it's been a year already I've had this avatar I'm using lately, and to have so many artworks that I have to say though. But do you know what the difference between me and Lily? I never went so far as to say, fuck you, your art is shit to me, or anything like that. Because Lily is that abusive, not just with her fans, not just with people she knows in real life, but also to someone who gave her fan art. I'm not gonna say exactly who because I want to keep them anonymous for her obvious reasons, but the video that they have will be in the playlist as well though. It's not on their channel, but it is archived if you want to see it for yourself. But be warned if anything though, for what kind of Stockholm that they went on to though. Yeah, when it comes right down to it, someone that nice to you gave you fan art, and yet you went ahead and say fuck you or some shit like that. This is just borderline distasteful, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree too. Look, my art is nothing spectacular, and while some people do like my artwork, I don't know why you guys like my artwork, but okay. I think what really sets things off is that at least I never went so far as to say that anyone who does artwork for me, I never went to so far as to say, oh, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, or oh, your artwork sucks, or whatever. No, I'll keep the artwork because that's how much it means to me. Hell, I still have it in my gallery, right in my phone, or if anything, though. And one thing's for sure, I never let them go. Like, that's how much the art means to me, though. Even if my artwork is nothing spectacular, I do envy people who have good artwork. But Lily went so far as to say such irresponsible things, though, to the point where the person who made her fan art had to go so far as to apologize. I don't want to say again who this person is, but the truth is, I feel bad for the kid. Like, they were doing something nice, and then they had to get shit on for that, though. This is just horrible, though. And it's not just that. Some of the people she does have that work for her, like say Shiloh or Patchwork Card. Yeah, he used to be for Lily, and he went into detail what happened in his channel. He doesn't do videos anymore on his channel, but I'm just saying that though. Honestly, Shiloh didn't deserve that kind of stuff though, nor did anyone deserve it though. Honestly, with all the things I've mentioned about Lily though, it's hard for me to know how she still has her channel to this day, and I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, say what you want about Star Giant Productions and say as well as Magenta, but at least they deleted their channel, and that's how they're able to stay away though. Granted, Magenta is still around on Just a Robot's channel because he's just hiding behind the shadows for whatever reason. He can't even learn a damn thing, it seems. And yeah, with Lily, it comes as no surprise that this has to happen though, to the point where I'm really starting to ask myself, how did she even manage to stay so positive for these here people, and yet she acts negative at the same time? I know that's a hard thing for me to say though, but still. And when it comes right down to it though, I have a feeling someone's gonna track down this video, watch it, and say, I have nothing to say other than Lily's toxic and all that stuff though. I try my best to go as analysis as I can though, guys. I try though. But this is why I don't like doing take-ons all the time. At the same time, I do like doing them because it gives me a lot to work with some of these bad users. But at the same time, this is also one of the reasons why I take a break every so often, because it hurts my stomach to see why these people are so dangerous to the point where they really can't seem to go outside and touch grass or do anything like that. I'm not going to be one of those people that say they deserve the backlash they do, because I'm not that kind of person. What I am trying to say though is that I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't like it when people do this though. I mean, I go through depression myself and anxiety and a little bit of anger every once in a while and some other shit like that. But the difference is that I don't take it out on other people. I do get angry, but I don't take it out on other people like that. And that's what it feels like with Lily in a nutshell. I know what this is probably my longest take on I had to do though, even though it's about nearly an hour since I've been doing this, but that's what happens when you have a lot to say on the matter. I will do my take-ons back in say November, but in October, I don't know when exactly in October I'll be doing my next video, because I want to do something special, though, not just for my birthday and stuff like that, but I just want you guys to stay safe and all that stuff. And I hope when I'm done coping over something like that, I hope to do this when I come back though. But until then, stay safe guys, and as always, stay flamingo-tastic. I think I'm done here for now. See ya.